This is the 80s Show on iHeartRadio.
Say ho, ho, say ho, 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 ho. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Say ho, ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
How you be? I mean, it's a Monday. Monday is traditionally a giant bag of suck. Monday sucks something that is long and dangly and distends from an animal that I can't mention by names on the radio, but we're all aware of just exactly what Monday sucks. And there's no getting around it. The end of that glorious 48 hours of freedom known as the weekend, where your time is yours and yours alone. And the return to soul-destroying drudgery, where you piss away your life underneath fluorescent tubes working for the man. Maybe that man's you. But it's not as fun as having a little free time, is it? No, it's not. However, and look, I don't know your personal situation. You might not be blessed with soul-destroying drudgery. You might not be blessed with fluorescent tubes to sit underneath as you piss away your life working for the man. But I want you to bear in mind, and maybe this will take some of the sting out of the pain that is Monday. I mean, there's no getting around Monday. Monday is what it is, but unless you're one of those people that is just like the moment your feet hit the floor, you're awake and alive and you're ready to go with the joys of life and can't wait to challenge another 24-hour period and see what new opportunities for growth it brings you in the form of problems. If you're that type of person, one, you're going to crash and burn because you can only fly that close to the sun for so long before you go, oh, wait, no, everything sucks. And wind up in some sort of mental ward for at least a week and a half. If you're that type of person, first and foremost, you're going to crash and burn. Second of all, bite me. I don't know how you do it. I wish I was more like you, but I'm not. So I'm addressing the realists in this particular situation. If you're like that, good for you. I wish I was more like you. But if you are like me, if you are in a position where no matter how fortunate you are to have your form of employment, you get a little worn out by Mondays because they just aren't Mondays. They are what they are. Understand something. Understand that by getting up, leaving your house, or I don't know, maybe you telecommute. I did that for a little while, working at home in my underwear. It's fantastic. There was a time when I was working for Sirius XM where I had a studio from the house. So anytime you heard me, I was at home with my puppies curled up by my feet in my pajamas. Or, as it turns out, one summer in my bathing suit. I didn't leave the house for weeks and weeks. It's fantastic. I would... it wasn't the most hygienic thing in the world, but then I wasn't really sort of like dealing with anybody in the real world. I didn't stop showering, but I showered infrequently because I was swimming like 8 or 9 times a day. Like, I'd be on the radio, go for a swim. Bring the dog out on the little floaty thing. Float around for a while before getting back on the radio. It was fantastic. I removed myself from society. And when I had to start like shaving and putting on pants again, it was a great disappointment. So if you're doing the telecommuting thing, at least that eases the burden of a Monday. But if you are doing something where you get up and leave the house and go to work, and you're finding it a little rough because it is a Monday, bear in mind that you're not just doing what you do. You're not just trading your time at a soul-destroying position to get the money necessary to pay the bills. You play a part. You play a part, and I hope that the work that you're doing is in some way, shape, or form meaningful to you. I hope that while you're doing it, or after you're done doing it, you see the end result. You see how you're leaving the world a better, more fulfilled, more interesting, more functional place than the way you found it, because we're all playing a part. We're all a cog in a machine. We are all, if we're working in some way, shape, or form, a contributing member of society. And I hope you recognize that. I hope as you're biting down, going, Monday, I hope that you recognize not only are you doing what it takes to get by, thrive, and survive in this world, but you're contributing something to society. You are making the world go around. You are making the world a better place just by doing your thing. You could be stacking shelves at a Walmart. You could be mowing someone's lawn. You could be any number of things that you could be doing that might seem menial, that might seem pointless, that might seem like, what am I really doing here? But we're all playing a part. when we get up and work. And hopefully, if that part isn't one that you set out to do, you can find a way to elevate it into something that's a little closer to the picture you have in your head for yourself when you headed off into the world at age 18 or whatever it was and joined the workforce. Age 22 if you went to college or whatever the hell it is. Hopefully, the picture that you had in your head when you thought of what you wanted to do in the world eventually matches up to what you're doing with your life in some way, shape, or form. But until that time, recognize that, yeah, you're getting money for mowing lawns. You're getting money for stacking shelves. But it's amazing, beautiful, interconnected, holistic world that we're in. Holistic. I'd like to clarify, I'm not talking about the hippy-dippy version of it, but more the scientific version, meaning that everything touches each other. It's all connected. And by stacking that shelf, by putting things in the right place, God, I hope you put things in the right place, you're helping someone like me who's got exactly no time whatsoever run into Target, run into Walmart, run into wherever the hell it is, grab what they need, and get the hell on with their life. As I had to do before coming in today. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, when I go into the Walmart that's on the way to work, things aren't where they're supposed to be or where they were meant to be. And this morning when I needed to get something, I was like, it's there. Thank F for that. And I actually felt tremendously grateful to the person that had actually put something in the right place because they made my life easier. And if you're one of those people, in whatever shape or form, that hammer that you're putting in the right place on the shelf could be a metaphorical one. However you're doing it, know that far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Theodore Roosevelt. Thanks for hanging out.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Sir Paul McCartney.
1971's Wildlife was the debut album by the newly formed Wings with his wife Linda Eastman and singer-songwriter Denny Laine. The album reached number 11 in the UK and number 10 in the US. Red Rose Speedway was released in 1973. Engineered by Alan Parsons, it reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart. In March 1973, My Love was released and became a UK top 10 hit and McCartney's second solo US number 1. The next Wings album, Band on the Run, was released in 1973 and became their most successful. Bolstered by the hits Jet and the title track, the album was a major success. It reached number 1 in the US on 3 separate occasions and eventually went triple platinum in the UK, becoming the top-selling British album of 1974. In early 1975, Paul McCartney and Wings won the Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Duo, Group, or Chorus.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Sir Paul and all your favorite artists. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss the art of songwriting.
I've learned one thing over the years is that actually you can't control it. You can't force it. You can't analyze it. You can't worry about it. You just go and have a good time and mess around, and then something comes along and you grab it. It's something intangible. And if you try and make a program how to do it and do it better, you get lost. So it's like a free-form thing, which you can't control. You just let it ride or not ride. And if it's not working, then you just have a break. That's what I've learned.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Hey, you, what's that sound? Coming so loud from your radio dial. AD, be getting down when you're rocking the jams. Here I am, rolling back once again. I'm rolling all
So we all have a part to play. We really do. And just to touch on what we were saying before, even if your job does seem terrible, menial, be grateful that you got it. Even if it pays you not even a scotch of what it should be paying you. Yes, I said scotch. Even if it pays you pennies on the dollar compared to what you're worth and what the task is worth. Bear in mind that a good way to get around the jarringly awful bag of suck that is a Monday is to consider the people's lives you're touching. It was like this morning. I had to make a quick stop at Walmart. Almost nothing is in the right place at Walmart when I walk in 9 times out of 10. But you know what? I needed coffee. Didn't have time to make coffee this morning. So I decided to drink the undrinkable swill that they call coffee around the office today. And to drink the undrinkable swill that they call coffee around the office, it needs creamer. Now, usually I prefer my coffee like I prefer my metal. Black. But the undrinkable swill here requires that you put something in it. And without coffee, I'm nothing. Nothing at all. I tell you, nothing. And if I hadn't been able to walk in, find the creamer that had miraculously been put in the right place, which it almost never is, and grab it and be well attended to by the person at the checkout, I wouldn't be able to be here, and I wouldn't be able to be on the air feeling bright and chipper, having had my coffee and feeling good about life in the world. And, well, you know what? I mean, not only here, but on the other radio stations I'm on, I like to think that my small contribution is that I'm a part of a community. I managed to lighten and brighten a couple of people's days here and there. And brightening a couple of people's days here and there is, well, that's sort of why I was put on this earth. And I know I've gotten some really, really nice emails from some folks that say, hey, you know what? You make my commute a lot easier. You make me a lot happier about sitting in traffic. You make me able to cope with my life. You make me happy when I get home to my wife and kids because rather than have a soul-destroying hour in the car, I actually enjoy listening to you on the way home. And that's fantastic, and I love that. And that's my little part that I get to play in the world, and that's fantastic. But had you, person who's putting the coffee creamer in the right place at Walmart, not put the coffee creamer in the right place at Walmart, I would have been cranky here today. Things wouldn't have been as good, and that guy wouldn't have gotten his yayas on the way home later on today, and then it would have all been bad, and he would have walked home and yelled at his wife and screamed at his kids to pick up their effing Tonka toys because he almost broke his ass on them yet again. And, well, see what you did? It all connects. You're helping the world go around, and I want to thank you. Thank you for putting the coffee creamer in the right place so I could drink the undrinkable swill and make something that passes for good radio. You rule, and you might not appreciate the value of your actions, but they're there. Oh, they are there. Speaking of valuable, we are joined again this week on the show by Marie Lanza. Her vacation continues, and being the workaholic that she is, she decided, what should I do with my time off? I know, I'll go sit in a dim studio with Funkhauser and read the news. So, let's get into the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. Checking in with super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. You can tweet him at FunkFM.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Yeah, we're in a new studio today. Funkhauser's antsy.
Sibilance.
Unique New York. And checking in with super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser at Funk FM is where you can tweet him. At Marie_Lanza is where you can tweet radio host, author, and all-around Renaissance chick, Marie Lanza.
Thanks for having me again this week.
Thank you for being here.
I wish you could see Funk running around this studio this morning. It's been really fun for me.
But quite difficult.
Really fun for me, but not for Funk.
I'm sweating.
I'm sweating too, profusely, and I don't get it. Like, there's something with this. Like, I came in, thermostat was set to 85. Wham! I put it right down to 65. Why anyone would have something set to 85 in this world?
We don't even have one of those in here. Like a little thing that twists up and down. Yeah, we're stuck at 60.
We're stuck at 0. It's that cold. But I did walk in and I'm like, oh, I forgot my jacket because it's so cold. And then Funk goes into, I don't have a thermostat. And I said, you know what? The moment we start talking, it'll be fine.
Oh, I've got sweat dripping down the back of my neck. It's like doing radio in Cambodia. I feel like Adrian Cronauer in Good Morning Vietnam. Sucks. You guys got together over the weekend and indoctrinated Funk into something that had been absent from his life for too long. What was it?
Sadly, we did get together. Not that that's not sad. Sadly, I had never seen Star Wars.
Yes.
And I have been screaming at him for as long as I've known him that he needs to watch these epic movies.
It's sacrilegious that I haven't seen it yet.
And he finally came over. He brought his 2 little beasts with him. And we barbecued, and we had Star Wars.
We found the drones that we were looking for. No, it took dog.
He brought the 2 little beasts over. He barbecued. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, you like that? No commas in that sentence. No, we did. We had some barbecue and watched Star Wars. It was awesome.
Yeah. Life makes a lot more sense to me today than it did yesterday, and I'm ready for number 5. We're 1/6 through. We have to see all of them by when?
December, when The Force Awakens is released.
A lot of work there. A lot of Periscope time we're going to be doing.
But yeah, so Funk.
Yeah.
You're a little long in the tooth to appreciate Star Wars in the way it's meant to be appreciated. I think for its true magic to hit you, you should probably watch it when you're a kid. Like Star Wars, it was magical to anybody that saw it when they're supposed to see it, between the ages of 5 and 15. Like,
Absolutely.
Well, how am I supposed to do that?
Well, you missed that window. How did it work out for you, Johnny Come Lately, when you eventually got down to watching Star Wars? What did you think?
I saw a Blu-ray version. It was pretty cool. There was some added bonuses, the CGI stuff that they added in later. It was kind of interesting, and nice to see a young Harrison Ford there. And a same-aged Chewie. Right?
but I mean, like, were you just like, oh my God, this is amazing, the most amazing thing ever? What have I been missing?
It stands up in time, and I've seen a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, so it didn't really hit me. Like,
I wish you could have seen what I experienced when R2-D2 comes on the screen, and he's like, "Is he the main character?" And then my mother in the room, she's like, "Is it the Darth Vader in this episode?" And I'm thinking to myself, this is who I'm surrounded by. And my husband and I keep looking at each other like, what world are we? What planet are we on right now with these two? Yeah. Unfortunately, I missed those moments when we were periscoping. So too bad it wasn't recorded.
Oh, well, next time. Yeah. All right. What's happening in the world?
All right, Xena, Warrior Princess stars Lucy Lawless and Renee O'Connor recently got together in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they were spotted hanging out. Mm-hmm. Their meeting, I believe, ended with the two of them politely saying goodbye, and not, as my fan fiction would have you believe, spending the rest of the night aggressively scissoring. Which brings me to an interesting point. Seen it in movies, scissoring.
While we're on the topic of
scissoring.
Yes.
Yeah. In the arts and crafts section on Pinterest, I found not as much scissoring as I was hoping to. Is that a thing? Like, you've worked with porn chicks, Funkhauser. Like,
yeah.
Is that something?
So is our friend Dirty Marie.
Right. I mean, like, the two of you, Dirty Marie and Funkhauser. Have you ever talked to female performers and been like, okay, scissoring, does it really do anything for you, or is that just a male creation for the movies?
I have, and they always say, nah.
Yeah, it's silliness.
It seems like you're trying to start a fire there.
There's a lot of friction.
I thought friction was necessary. Shows what I know. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I just completely, that whole, I started getting mental images. It's just, that's just really bad. Okay, Italian police impounded $205,000 of the $422,000 in cash Snoop Dogg had in his luggage as he's about to board a jet in London.
Yeah.
To London.
Bad news for Snoop, even worse for the pot dealers in London. I was thinking about this. I was like, how does this happen? How are you walking around with $422,000 in cash? Well, I have an idea of how that happened. I remember when I was in a band and we were on one of our maiden voyages and we actually had to fly. When you do a show, you play to a couple thousand people and you sell, like, I don't know, $5-6 grand's worth of merch if you're having a good night. That's all in cash. You don't necessarily have a chance to make a run to the bank and do anything. And if you're Snoop Dogg and you care about your ducats, then maybe you want it on your person at all times. Like, merch money often comes in the form of cash, and settlements at venues don't necessarily always involve a check. You know, you can take a check, you can take cash, whatever you want. And I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that was merch money, and Snoop was keeping it on his person, because I'm not going to throw the guy under the bus and tell you who it was. I mean, not that you know his name, but he works with some very, very big artists now. But, like, our tour manager at the time, it was one of our first stints on the road as a band, and it was one of his first stints on the road as a band, and he was eminently qualified to be a tour manager. He could do everything that a young band needed. He was great at running sound, he was great at humping gear around, and he had at one point been a long-distance truck driver. So everything that you needed, he could drive the bus if the driver needed a break. He could do everything that a person would need. But in terms of the mechanics of being on the road, he wasn't necessarily that together with it because he was brand new at it. And I remember getting off a plane, and he's like, I'm waiting for one more piece of luggage to come around on the carousel. I was like, dude, we got to get to the show. What's even in this luggage? Maybe we can send for it. He was like, the merch money. I was like, you put like 10 grand in cash in a bag and checked it? He was like, yeah, well, you know, I didn't want to. I was like, I don't know what the right answer is, but that's the wrong answer. That seems like a bad idea. So I'm going to hazard a guess that, you know, the $422,000 in cash that Snoop was walking around with was merch money. And I guess he must have done it a bunch of times before, but this one particular instance, the Italian police, not so cool with it. All right, then, go on.
Miranda Lambert and Blake Shelton are still scheduled to co-headline a concert this weekend.
Yeah, they're going through.
Did they break up or something?
Oh,
yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
yeah.
But
it's hard to keep the Blake Shelton news in my head.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very familiar with this situation because, as I said, stop at Walmart before work today. And as I was at the checkout line, I saw on the cover of some periodical that she'd apparently banged 5 dudes while they were married. The not always reliable tabloid press alerted me to the fact that the relationship was in real trouble, and this was a big thing, and they're definitely getting divorced. But they're still like tweeting each other, like helping promote their friends' albums, and kind of being on the surface of things a team. And they're still scheduled to co-headline this concert this weekend.
Well, the scandal is those tweets were scheduled before they announced their divorce.
Oh.
And the other thing is about this headline is they won't even see each other because they're performing on different days. They're not even performing on the same days. So she'll go in for a day, fly out. He'll go in for a day, fly out.
Well, I think just to be safe, the organizers are booking a backup duo that's guaranteed to still be together. Garth Brooks and Cake.
That's great.
Go on.
New York Jet fans flew a banner over the New England Patriots training camp, calling them cheaters.
I wonder if Garth Brooks has a tuba player in his band now, just so when he walks on stage, you can be like, yes, New York Jets fans flew a banner over the New England Patriots training camp, calling them cheaters. I think all the Patriots fans had to do to retaliate was fly a banner over the Jets camp, calling them the New York Jets.
Oh.
Bazinga, sports humor. Yay. Go on.
Speaking of New England Patriots, Tom Brady turns 38 today.
Although he makes himself seem younger by only pumping himself up to 36 PSI.
Relevant.
Relevance. If you're stuck on a gift, he could use a set of morals and a sense of fair play. This is he's 38 years old. He's been a football player the vast majority of his life. I'm guessing he started, did he start Pop Warner? Anyone a Tom Brady fan around here? Did he play Pee Wee football?
Wrong room, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If he's cheating at the age of 38, do you think his entire career has been based on deflated balls and other such shenanigans to give him an unfair edge, and that's how he ended up being like one of the most paid football players of all time? Like, if he hadn't been cheating at football since the age of 5, which I'm going to go out and assume he did, I don't think he'd get to see Giselle naked every single night.
This is true.
The lesson here, kids, cheat. Cheat for all you're worth, because no matter what people think of you, your life will still be awesome.
This feels
USA Headline News. I'm Kelly Sloan. French and Malaysian experts are meeting in Paris. A wing fragment has arrived that officials think may belong to MH370, which disappeared 16 months ago.
The job is to try to determine whether the part does indeed come from the plane, which disappeared in March 2014. Air safety investigators, including one from Boeing, have identified the component as a flaperon from the trailing edge of a Boeing 777 wing. Flight 370 is the only missing 777, and many are convinced the flap does come from the ill-fated jet.
That was correspondent Charles De La Decima. The top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee says he's backing the international accord to curb Iran's nuclear program. California Congressman Adam Schiff says he supports the agreement to limit the nuclear program in exchange for relief from billions in sanctions. The announcement is a boost for President Obama during Congress's 60-day review period. Most Republicans are threatening to vote no. This is USA Headline News.
Do you have federal student loans? Would you like to lower your student loan payments or possibly have a portion of your loans forgiven? If you owe $10,000 or more, you may qualify for the government's income-based program, which means you could pay as little as $5 per month. If you're behind, late, or even if you're in default on your federal student loans, we can help consolidate your student loans into one affordable monthly payment and cut your payments right away. Federal Student Loan Services provides student loan relief, getting you relief from your federal student loans fast. If you owe $10,000 or more on your student loan, call our established student aid toll-free assistance line right now at 800-669-0290. Once qualified, we can fix your student loan problems guaranteed, and there is no credit check. Call 800-669-0290, 800-669-0290 now. We've helped thousands of people just like you fix their student loans. Our specialists are waiting for your call. Call 800-669-0290. Again, 800-669-0290.
Checking baseball games of note, the Mets down the Nationals 5-2 with that win. New York sweeps the series from Washington and moves into a first-place tie with the Nationals in the NL East. The Dodgers were looking for a walk-off win and a sweep over the Angels.
Fly ball, right field, well hit. It is back, and it is gone! A home run! Andre Ethier with a walk-off home run.
AM 570 LA Sports on the call as the Dodgers beat the Angels 5-3. That's 4 straight wins for the Dodgers. The Angels have dropped 6 in a row. Walk-off wins on Sunday for the Marlins, Cardinals, and A's. In the NFL, the Buffalo Bills have suspended offensive line coach Aaron Kromer without pay for the first 6 games of the season. Kromer had battery charges filed against him in July. They were dropped this week. Horse racing American Pharoah easily won his first race since taking the Triple Crown, winning the Haskell Invitational. And in NASCAR, Matt Kenseth took the checkered flag at Pocono Raceway. I'm Eddie Garcia.
iHeartRadio puts the spotlight on James Taylor.
Born in Boston in 1948, James Taylor began playing the cello as a child. He switched to guitar and started to think about being a musician full-time when he met guitarist Danny Korchmar. They formed a folk band called The Flying Machine. It started out well, but eventually James and Danny were overcome with addiction and they disbanded, leaving Taylor to move to London in a last-ditch attempt to break the habit. While there, he submitted a demo tape to Peter Asher, a scouting talent for the Beatles' new label, Apple. His first album, entitled simply James Taylor, was not a success, but it did get him noticed.
And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
Taylor released his breakthrough album, Sweet Baby James, in 1970. It went triple platinum and spawned his first top 10 hit, the intensely personal Fire and Rain. The following year saw the release of another million seller, Mudslide Slim and The Blue Horizon, with the #1 single, You've Got a Friend, written by his longtime friend, Carol Kane.
Just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh, yes, I will see you again.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more James Taylor coming up.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Go ahead, favorite the show, and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Yeah, alrighty then. There's a list of words that was dropped recently that women hate the most. The 6 words women hate the most, and unlike the usual festival of bratwurst that we have going on in the studio most of the time, we are blessed to have a female with us who we can bounce us off of a little later on in the show. The awesomely talented, the prolific writer, the radio host extraordinaire, Marie Lanza is guest reading our news and hanging out for yet another week, and we are privileged to have her here. Do you have any words right off the bat, Marie, that you hate?
Well, are they being directed towards me?
Well, no, these are words that women allegedly just can't stand. Like it's just words that set your teeth on edge that you just don't want to hear, that you don't like for whatever reason. It's not necessarily a logical thing. And here's the thing: they're not words that are derogatory toward females or indicative of female body parts or anything like that. They're just words that kind of set the female population's teeth on edge.
Mine is relax. I hate that word.
That's not on the list, but you see,
I hate it.
I have a feeling that that's because you've been told to relax.
Exactly.
A lot. Like, relax. Calm down.
Exactly. Not just, hey, why don't you relax? I hate that word. Makes me cringe.
Right. Well, let us take it easy into the news. I love it. It takes a couple days, but you get a little window into people's psyches and worlds occasionally. Does your husband know that that relax needs to be stricken from the vocabulary?
Yes, he is well aware.
Now, did you hate it before you met your husband, or has this been something that like is it a long?
Was it your husband's fault there?
Relax, or is it your husband's fault that none of the rest of us can use the word relax?
I actually,
thanks a lot, dude.
He's well aware. I've hated it way before him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let us proceed in a laid-back manner. Go on.
Are you ready for some more news?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Dennis Rodman has endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sorry. Here's the thing. When it comes to perhaps the most important presidential race of our lives and the geopolitical implications of such an occasion, you're absolutely crazy if you think I'm weighing in before I hear from Chad Ochocinco. Dennis Rodman is... He's leapt to the defense of Hulk Hogan as well. He was like, yeah, I wrestled with him back in the day. He is not a racist. Again, this is a dude that his besties with Kim Jong-un, so we want to take it all with a little bit of a grain of salt. I wonder if, like, there's certain sort of, like, presidential or political endorsements that you just don't want. You know, it's just like... Donald Trump, it's really nice that Dennis Rodman wants to support him, but like ixnay, no, just no. Like, shh, here's $1 million. Never mention my name again. Like, there's got to be celebrity endorsements that hurt more than help. I have to imagine. I guess Dennis Rodman might fall into that category.
You put else? The hippity dips in the Hillary for good president.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cosby presidential endorsement is not necessarily one I think anyone's going to be looking for in 2016.
Take it from me, Carly Fiorina is not a sleeper.
Zippity dip dip. I know one way to knock out Ronda Rousey. Zippity ding dong zangadang.
I don't even know what to do with you two right now.
There's like, you know what? Like the thing about Bill Cosby, you know, having all this scandal. It's like it's the awfulness is multi-level. I don't know about you, but like, did you guys watch Cosby growing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Cosby, and like, I in a lot of sort of ways, I feel like I got a moral compass from the Cosby Show that my hippie parents did not necessarily provide me. And I really kind of looked forward to watching the Cosby Show with my kids and discussing the valuable life lessons therein. That's now gone, and I'm a little upset about that. And the other side of it that makes the whole Cosby scandal awful, besides losing a beloved entertainer to the fact that he is a dirty, dirty rapist, and he's harmed untold lives. I think we might actually be looking at hundreds at this stage in the game. But the other side of it means everybody walks around doing god-awful Cosby impersonations. And I'm just about done with that. So if they could find him guilty of something so we could move on and have impersonations of other people, that would be just great, because my Cosby's not up to par. If you could see my Cosby face, I can do that thing where, you can't see that on the radio. What the hell am I talking about? I can do an excellent facial. I can do an excellent facial impersonation of Cosby. But the actual voice, none of us are good at that, and it all needs to go away. Go on.
Beijing, China has been selected to host the 2022 Winter Olympic Games.
7 years away, which means the Olympic Village will be constructed by China's current 3-year-olds. Go on.
A golf course in Norway has been dealing with someone pooping in its golf holes. Really?
In the holes?
Really?
In the holes, yeah.
Squatting over holes.
Given the fact that he's been taking a dump on golf courses everywhere lately, I would imagine the number one suspect is Tiger Woods. He does not do well these days. It all went, I don't know what happened to his back. Maybe he threw it out after banging one too many Waffle House waitresses, but he just can't play the way he used to. He gets it in the back nine on a regular basis, but his golf game's still not so good. I got no more. Go on.
Okay. The chairman of the Republican National Committee called on the candidates to stop calling each other names. Stop being 5-year-olds.
Yeah, stop name calling. In response, Donald Trump addressed him as a loser, a wimp, and a sissy Mary. I believe. Sorry, I like people that didn't get captured. Go on.
This was gross. I don't know if you guys, and that's gross too, Funk. I don't know if you guys have seen it. A Florida man tried to hide his identity from cops by chewing off his fingernails. I mean, his fingertips.
Yeah.
His nails. His fingertips. Ugh. Doesn't he watch...
there's an easier way to hide from society. Work in radio.
Sunshine, come on. Nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. Perfect day. Sunshine, come on. Nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Led Zeppelin.
Due to the heavy guitar-driven blues rock sound of their first 2 albums, Led Zeppelin are frequently recognized as the progenitors of heavy metal. However, the band's unique style drew from a wide variety of influences, including folk music. The group's later albums saw greater experimentation and were accompanied by record-breaking tours that earned the band a reputation for excess and debauchery. Rolling Stone magazine described them as the heaviest band of all time, the biggest band of the 70s, and unquestionably one of the most enduring bands in rock history. Keep listening to iHeartRadio for the next chapter of Led Zeppelin. If you can't wait, get more at iHeartRadio.com. Keyword Led Zeppelin.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bob Seger to discuss his favorite process for developing new songs.
The way I do it, I sing into an ADAT machine, which has about 40 minutes. I might fill up 2 or 3 of them. Then I just go away, come back the next day, and listen to what I did. If there's nothing there, I start again. But I might hear one chord change. I might hear one thing I mumbled lyrically and say, oh, I never even caught that when I did it. You know, it's like just totally a free-form thing, almost a jazz thing. And sooner or later, you know, a structure, a chord structure, or a phrase, or the way I sang something jumps out at me, and it becomes the germ for a song, you know? And that's really fun.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bob Seger and all your favorite artists.
delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Let's go, talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight, walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah.
Lisa checked in on Twitter. We are building up to, because we tackle the big issues on this show. It's a Monday. We're taking it slow. Lisa has guessed that one of the words that we're going to discuss the 6 words that make women angry, set them on edge, words women hate. And they're not words that objectify women or female body parts. They're just words that women don't like. And Lisa has checked in on Twitter. You can tweet us all too, at ADSXE, at Marie_Lanza, and at FunkFM. She said, I'm going to guess one of the words that women hate the most is moist. Do you hate the word moist, Marie?
Oh, good one, Lisa. That's gross. Let's not say that again. That's so gross.
Like, chicks don't like the word moist.
Ew.
What word again? Can you say it one more time?
Come on.
Apparently, Duncan Hines has been using the wrong watchword to sell cupcakes all these years. I always thought of moist as being like, hey, Betty Crocker is definitely en la casa. Like, that's what, like I always associated moist with baking. But apparently, that might be one of the words, judging by the reaction in the room. And we'll get into the 6 words that women don't like after we roll through what remains of the news. Marie, what else is going on in the world?
A British man called 911 to report a cat had eaten his bacon. Yep, true story.
Funkhauser, can you see if you can pull up audio of that? Because I know it's online somewhere. I was looking
cat
for it
ate
this
my
morning.
bacon? Okay.
Yeah, like 911. Well, he called 999, which is the English version of 911.
I bet it's on the Huffington Post somewhere because they always post these great stories.
Don't go to the Huffington Post though, because the Huffington Post crashes your computer. We're dealing with computers here that we have to hand crank. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
YouTube.
I love some of the content on Huffington Post. They really have the A to Z on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Huffington Post, have you noticed they do these news stories? It's like they have a Huffington Post newsroom, and they hire these personalities to read the news on Huffington Post. And I was watching it. I was I don't think anybody's watching this stuff. Do you watch them?
No.
Yeah, exactly. They crank out all this content, and I noticed they provide the Twitter handle for all of their news personalities on Huffington Post, and it seems like a big job. Huffington Post gets gazillions of views every single day. I think almost as much as Google or something ridiculous like that. And I was like, wow, these must be some of the biggest personalities in the world. What with digital media forging ahead the way it is, and they all have 2 followers. It's it's weird. It's not a thing. They're putting all this work into cranking out digital content, and I don't think anyone's watching it. But Funkhauser, have you found the 911?
Yeah,
call?
here it is. Listen.
Sweet.
I think.
First house, please. What's the emergency?
My girlfriend has let the cat eat my bacon.
Sorry?
My girlfriend let the cat eat my bacon.
Right, okay. What would you like the police to do with regards to that, sir?
Because I'm in the mood to buy our
So you want to beat up your girlfriend because the cat's eating your bacon?
You what? I want to press charges.
Against who? Your girlfriend or the cat?
You what?
Who do you want to press charges against? Your girlfriend or the cat?
Both of them.
Right. Sir, it's not a criminal offence to let a cat eat your bacon, okay? And we don't arrest cats. I'm very sorry.
No, but my girlfriend allowed the cat to do it.
Right, I'm very sorry, sir, but it's not a 999 emergency because your girlfriend's let the cat eat the bacon. I do apologise, but it's not a police matter.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Okay, love.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Incredibly well handled, and it makes me miss England. The English just have this way of very matter-of-factly dealing. They have this way of in a very matter-of-fact way, they deal with complete insanity, through politeness. And, the other thing that I find is that English people they're much better, like, I don't know, in the workplace or just generally speaking, they're better at settling disputes because they're so reserved about screaming at people. You know, like I remember a friend of mine went to get a haircut back in the day, and I was like, dude, what happened to your head? He was like, well, I went in and I asked him, I was like, can you, I would like it to, I'd like to have it short, but not too short, a little bit longer in the front so I could do a little bit of a flip, you know, kind of like think the 90s Keanu Reeves in Speed, where it's sort of like spiked, but not really spiked, but just a little bit at the, little bit here, a little bit there, not too short, but not too long. And he was like, okay. He's like, they completely shaved my head blade one and said, is that what you wanted? And it wasn't what I wanted at all, but because I'm English, I said, yes, thanks very much, and gave him a tip. And it's just like people seem to work out their disagreements in a much better way that results in physical violence less often in England. Anyways, which is strange because here you would think the threat of having a gun, you know, like, you don't know, the person that you could be talking to might be packing. And in England, no one has a gun. It's like Robin Williams used to say back in the day. In England, the police don't have a gun and you don't have a gun, so it's stop, or I'll say stop again. But in this particular situation, I think we find a great example of the way the British Reserve stops problems from escalating unnecessarily. Go on.
A study finds that 6 in 10 women over 60 have active sex lives.
Mm-hmm. Over the age of 60. In other words, if the Craftmatic adjustables are rocking, don't come a knocking. And you thought Grandma limped because of her hip. Not her hip.
Another mental picture for me today.
It's not okay.
Go on.
A man in Downey, California is suing In-N-Out Burger because he claims he found meth in his milkshake. Wow.
To which the entire state of Oklahoma replied, why on earth would you sue? Go on.
That's not on the special menu.
The secret menu? Yeah. Kraft is recalling 36,000 cases of wrapped cheese slices because the plastic can stick to the cheese and become a choking hazard.
Yeah. Either you guys eat individually wrapped pieces of cheese like that?
No. Ew. It's not. No.
No?
Notice that they can't call it cheese on the packaging, therefore not cheese.
Cheese-flavored product.
Cheese-flavored is more like it.
While the plastic cheese might be a choking hazard, still more nutritious than a slice of Kraft cheese. Go on.
Trojan condoms and Nair are made by the same company.
Yeah, who knew? Trojan condoms and Nair made by the same company. By the way, if you need both of these products, you might be Caitlyn Jenner. All right, then. Let's talk about these words that women don't like. There's this new survey found the 6 words that women hate the most. And like I said, because we tackle the big issues on this show, especially on a Monday, we're going to talk about them. It's this survey. Well, these are the 6 words that women hate the most, although it's possible men hate them just as much. And they're not words that objectify women or female body parts or anything like that. There's just words that set female teeth on edge. And let's see. We use the word moist at the suggestion of
gross.
Lisa. She guessed that one of the words was moist. Marie's reaction to the word moist suggested that, yeah. Why? What's wrong with the word moist? What the deal?
I don't know.
Because, like I said, I just picture cupcakes. You know, like moist, chewy cupcake, something like I like my chocolate chip cookies still a little moist in the middle.
Maybe my brain goes to the dark side. I don't know, but it's just gross for me. It just makes me a little itchy, like, and like my shoulders, you know, like start to go up to my ears, and it just grosses me out. But you know, I'm a little weird, so.
I will never forget the time that, like, there was this girl that I knew back in the day, and
how moist was she?
Well, no, but my friend was like, hey, you know, if you wanna, you could, and I was like, huh? And she's like, he was like, oh yeah, that she's pretty moist in the groin for you, and I was like, you know what?
Ew!
Moist in the groin doesn't, exactly. didn't I was sort of on the fence about the possibility of it, and being told that she was moist in the groin made me go, no, thanks, I'll pass.
That
so
was
I can sort of relate to that.
That was as bad as a man telling me using the word chubby. And I will let you think about what he was describing. And you know what? I'm going to put that on my list. Don't ever tell me say that word in front of me. It's so gross.
Chubbing up is a.
You went there, see?
Well, no, that's
gross.
It's an expression, like I'm chubbing up. I can't imagine that really sets the scene for a night of passion. Like, hey, babe, I'm chubbing up, so whenever you're ready. I don't know if you're moist enough yet.
Oh, come on. You're putting them together now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to find out these 6 words and see if we can't combine them all into the one most revolting to female sentence ever been uttered. But, all right, we'd like to thank the people who ran the survey for sticking to words that you can actually say on the air. At the same time, you do have to be kind of careful when you repeat them in polite company. But all right, we'll see if moist is on the list. In at number 6, and I'm so glad we have a female in the studio today so we can gauge the reaction properly. In at number 6, Marie, do you find the word flap unpleasant?
Oh, yes. Goodness, these women are awesome for listing these. Yeah, it's gross.
Flap? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not on my top list, but yeah, it's kind of gross.
So I'm just working on the sentence. When the flaps are moist, he chubs up. Okay. In at number 5. Curd.
Curd?
Curd.
That one really doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. If you've been to the Midwest and you've eaten delicious cheese curds, curd becomes a very happy word.
Yeah,
Right.
it sounds like cottage cheese to me.
Exactly, and I love cottage cheese. So
yeah. Have you ever had cheese curds?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the garlic dill ones.
Oh,
deep fried.
Evil.
You don't like them?
No, like evil in a good way.
Delicious. Yes.
Yeah, delicious.
In at number 4, chunky.
Chunky.
No,
like a Snickers bar.
Really doesn't bother me
That's
either.
all right.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter, like ice cream.
Maybe because I call my little one a chunky monkey all the time. You know?
Right, gotcha.
So
I have heard women refer to their monthly visit as having a chunky quality, and that might be where it comes from.
no, you have clots is the word that
Clots?
some women use. It's clots. Yes.
Clots. Thank you. Thank you so much for destroying clotted cream for me forever.
Glad I could help.
In at number 3, panties. Do you not like the word panties?
No, I love the word
Those
panties.
are fun to say, too.
Yeah.
Panties.
I'll never forget, like, I was when I was living in New York, I was on the Upper East Side where everyone's a gazillionaire, and I saw this ancient woman come in who was definitely a lady that lunched, like, just, extraordinarily well-to-do, but I guess also, someone that counted her pennies because, like, I was in Victoria's Secret. And as one is when they're a dude that's not creepy in any way, shape, or form. But I was in Victoria's Secret buying a gift, and I heard someone go, "I have a coupon for a free panty. Do I need to bring it in?" I thought that was hilarious. In at number 2, squirt. And in at number 1, moist. Yep.
Yes.
Right. Moist is a word that you should not be using in conversation with ladies because it sets their teeth on edge. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Thank you, Funkhauser. Thank you, Marie.